Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Two Limes and a Lemon. We've got a really amazing film to talk about today, which is the film The Giver.
Is it just start with us talking?
Yeah, Dave's gonna do us some like a jingle, I think.
Dave.
Nah.
Danielle.
Two Limes and a Lemon.
That was the big intro that you talked about writing.
No. It's more of this. No. The thing I've written about is the synopsis.
Okay. I was like, how long did he work on that one line?
Hello, my name's Dave, and I am the host of this episode. I've also the one who has chosen the film The Giver. Why I chose it, I still don't have any idea, and I'm sure we'll talk about this. I have the amazing and stupendous Natalie with me as one of my co-hosts.
Hi.
And I have Danielle. Say hi, Danielle.
How rude.
She just leaves the podcast.
Who is also amazing and stupendous.
Thank you, Natalie.
So before we get started on the film that is The Giver, I want to sort of figure out what we've been up to this week. So Danielle, amaze us what we've been up to.
I seem to have had a week where I was doing everything that everybody else has recommended the last few weeks. And so I had a mad dash last night to watch something new. And so I watched the movie Hokum last night.
Oh, yeah.
Hokum? What's...
It's a horror, isn't it?
Yeah. It's one that I've so setting it up like that sounds like it's something that I just was spinning around Netflix and picked whatever to watch. It's not the case. I actually I wanted to see it so badly, I pre-ordered it on Amazon and then haven't watched it in the 3 weeks since I bought it. So I wanted to watch it, and so I did it, but I did a little too late last night. It's about a writer who goes to an Irish inn to spread the ashes of his parents where they spent their honeymoon. It's part ghost story, part folk horror, and punchline is I enjoyed it a lot. It's a slow burn, but I really enjoyed it.
Do you think these new sort of types of horrors where it's got deeper meanings behind them all are like, that's what we need, that's what we want? Do you reckon that's like a new pathway of horror that like viewers are enjoying more and more and more? Because I think they are. I think having a bit more of psychological horror, I do like your slashers and your screams and stuff, but I do kind of resonate a bit more with a horror film that has a little bit more depth to it.
Yeah, of course. I think with horror especially, the genre reinvents itself every 5 to 10 years because things become stale. What happens is the new and interesting, everybody tries to replicate that. And then you get, a bunch of like thinking of like post screams.
Loads of found footage stuff.
Yeah, or found footage. You get some really interesting takes on that, but then you get a lot of the same tropes over and over.
Do you reckon they can overdo this kind of
style?
Yeah.
No, eventually.
I
think it's going to become... And then it's going to be, whatever Gen Z filmmaker is next making movies or whatever. Like the next
Everyone's going to be like, I'm sick of ambiguous endings. Can you just tell me what happens in the end, please? So
it'll be like 15-second horror films because it's all short form.
Yeah. What about you, Nat? What have you been up to?
I watched on Amazon, funnily enough, as well. But I bought the new Anaconda film, which I had wanted to see for a while, but I wish I got it on like one of those cheap weekends, but I wish I hadn't bothered now because
it's bad, isn't it? It's so bad.
I loved the original Anaconda, and I even loved the second Anaconda, which I thought was better than the first one, Search for the Blood Orchid. So I was like, I really wanted to see this, and I really wanted it to be good. But it just wasn't. Like, it didn't know what it wanted to be. Obviously, I was expecting it to be a comedy. You've got Paul Rudd, you've got Jack Black.
Yeah.
But just the jokes weren't that funny. The horror wasn't that horror-y. Like...
The snake's barely in it.
The snake, probably is on screen for about 5 minutes tops in the whole thing.
I took a little trip out to London over the weekend. I went to a sip and paint activity where you learn how to paint with neon colours and glow-in-the-dark paint. We sat down, and it's constant drinking as well. So they constantly filling up you can have like fizzy drink if you want, but we went for the wine. So they were just constantly filling up your wine. And as I found out, the pictures become better and better as time went on, because we're slowly getting a bit more, oh, these pictures are looking very good. Yeah. So we were supposed to go along with this jellyfish kind of painting. I just was like, I'm going to draw guinea pigs and paint them. It kind of worked. And then like last minute, I went rogue and decided to say there was too much color around the guinea pig. So I just went with black.
But didn't you say in your story you didn't have enough black?
Yes, I did run out of black. And by the time I got to that point, they were like, time's up, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed it. I was like, oh, no.
I'm assuming the black wasn't neon, though.
No.
So you could just finish it off at home.
I could have done, but I left it there.
What?
I was like,
Waste.
It weren't a waste. It was more the experience for it. When we took it out into the light, it looks really bad. So you can only really look at it if you've got like neon lights,
Black light in your house.
Yeah. So I was like, so if I hung that up on the wall, it would just look really bad. So I was like, you know what? I'm just
meant to go in a memory box, so that then like years to come, you can be like, remember this fun activity we did.
So the film I chose this week was the film The Giver. So this season is all about dystopian movies. I decided to pick a film that I haven't seen before, and I wanted to see like a more current or recent film. So I saw this on the list of movies, and I was like, this looks interesting. This stars Jeff Bridges, Meryl Streep, and Britton Thwaites. And if you've not seen the film, you can stop the podcast and go check it out. But if not, I'll give you a bit of an overview of what it's about. So The Giver is basically set in a neighborhood watch. I thought it was in like a floating island, but it's not. It's the Danielle and Nat just said like, no, it's just like they've put clouds around it to make it feel a bit more
isolated.
Abandoned.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a floating island. Enter Jonas, a teenager who gets promoted because when you get to a certain age, you get a job, and he got the job of receiver of memory. Jonas then meets Jeff Bridges, who spams him with lots of emotional history about the world. He learns the first thing he learns is about snow and sledges, because that's clearly the most important thing. Jonas soon learns that his home is not as perfect as it seems, and it's more of a controlled environment. He takes it upon himself to do what every teenager does in these films and run away to free everybody. The film is in black and white most of the time. So the film itself is just sort of about, not having memory and just everyone kind of living in a society run by these elders and not knowing things about death or emotion and stuff like that. I don't know why I picked this film. I've never seen it before. Have you guys seen it before?
No, I didn't even know it was a movie.
Neither did I.
I hadn't seen it. I remember the posters when it came out, and it looking like a book I should have read when I was a kid, but then I looked at when it was written, and it was like when I was in high school, so I wouldn't have encountered it. But I think it's one of these like Newbery Award winner children's books that's become like a classic for kids to read, or at one point it was a classic. I don't know if they still read it.
Well, I read about that they had banned it in some schools, or it's like a book of kind of like contention because of the themes it deals with, like infanticide. How do you say it? Infanticide?
That seems right.
I don't know. Killing babies, whatever that one is. And obviously like euthanasia, basically. So it's got some pretty heavy themes, and people were saying, I don't know if it's right. And also the not listening to like authority figures.
So a little bit of background of how this film was put together. So it was originally Jeff Bridges' like passion project. He really wanted this film. He's been working before it was made. It was like 18 years in the making of him trying to put this film together. But it has been, I saw an interview with him, and this lady's like, is this the film you've always wanted to make? It's been 18 years, 20 years. are you happy with it? Is it better than expectation? And you can see, he said like, yeah, I'm really happy with it. But his face just says, no, Hollywood took it and just turned it into something I didn't want it to be.
Is it like the actors when they get asked at the end of Game of Thrones, do you like the last season? And
Best season ever. So he kind of says there was an interpretation and then he was on an experience of what the film could have been. Because I know like in the books they're children and in this they're teenagers, so they changed it around. But originally he wanted his dad to play the Giver character, but unfortunately his dad passed away, so he took that role instead. When it first started, I was like, have we got the right film? It's in black and white.
Yeah, Dave was so gutted that at the beginning it was in black and white. I was like, it's obviously there to like, later on they're going to put in a bit of colour, but Dave was not happy, were you?
Dave, I had a question about the black and white of it. Like, I found it, like, almost hard to watch. Like, it didn't, like, I don't have a problem with black and white films, but this... I don't know what it was about the black and white of this, but I just didn't enjoy the look of it.
I think it's because when they filmed it, they haven't thought of the black and white cinematography, putting it together. They've shot it like if it is in colour, and they've just desaturated it. They've not really thought, like they could have done a quite like, not film noir, but looked at shadows and highlights and stuff and really played with that. And then as colour gets introduced, then maybe the style of filmmaking changes so you can see a bit more colour. It very much was like, we're shooting this normal and we've just gone on to post-production and went saturation down.
Yeah.
And then I don't think they thought about it as much. They did a little bit when the colours came in. I mean, I remember, Nat, you had a good point.
Yeah, it was like her hair, and then when he was in the library with the Giver, the books and stuff had like a brown kind of tint to them. But I mean, I like the idea of the colour coming through as his memory becomes more full. I think that's a really good artistic choice. I enjoyed the black and white going to colour. That didn't bother me.
I think I didn't enjoy the idea of it. I just didn't like the way the black and white... I think what Dave said was they didn't really film it as a black and whites. There wasn't the shadows and the differences in texture almost that come with thinking about black and white.
Yeah, but I feel like that made it almost more clinical feeling. Like everything was very like, funnily enough to like pun it, but black and white. It was, because everything was kind of flat, it did feel like a clinical environment. And obviously they're taking this medication. That kind of worked in like this fake world that they've created so that it looks kind of almost plasticky, like things aren't real.
Well, to further that, they don't really make it clear if every living thing is fake in the environment, but you get one glimpse of them like putting branches on a fake tree.
My biggest concern I had from the makeup of their town was, why did they have that triangle in the middle?
Which one? The
one that they all used to have like meetings
space.
And kisses, and there's like a waterfall in front of it.
Yeah, it made no sense, especially because
I didn't understand it.
You could see like the little drone thing looking into it, so they weren't really hidden at all.
So I reckon if you watched this at the cinema, the black and white could have worked a bit better because you're in the dark and there's no colour around you. So maybe when the colours start coming in, you're a bit like, yellow, blue. I don't know. But I guess watch it in your house.
More atmospheric.
Yeah, but when you're in your house, you got colours all around you. So you kind of like...
I see what you mean. Yeah, so it's kind of lost a bit. I do feel like, did they want it to have the same effect of like Wizard of Oz? Yeah. Going from like sepia to colour and it being like wow, like a big reveal of this magical world.
I don't think they did it though, did they? Because that was more like you see all those vibrant colours in Wizard of Oz. Was here. It's like, here's a red. Back to something else. What did you think of the main character? Was he annoying, or did you find him interesting?
I didn't really like Jonas, unfortunately.
Was he just even though there was colour in his life, did he have any personality, or was he just like a blank canvas?
He was just a tool, I'll say. Not so much as like, but he was just a tool to move the story along. I don't feel like he was enough of a character. He was just the way to get the story to progress and see through his eyes. But honestly, he was a nondescript entity.
I don't know if I've ever heard of this actor before or since. So I think maybe
he was in
if
Pirates
they had...
of the Caribbean, wasn't he?
Oh.
He was, yeah. And that Gods of Egypt thing.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a question
Like in
for
the
you
original
two.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, like the
No,
newer
the
one.
new ones.
Oh. I haven't seen
Here's a
those.
question for you two. Where do you think he's from?
What do you
The
mean, like
actor or
The actor, yeah. Where's he from? Is he American? Is he English?
Australian? I'll go for a
What's he?
guess.
oh, that's
Going
it.
Australian? What do you think?
I'll say British just because of the last name.
That's a good way to go, but it's wrong, unfortunately. He is Australian, yeah.
What a guess!
Well done, what a guess. I watched an interview with him and I was like, I can't pin your accent. I had to literally look it up. And I was like, oh, he's Australian. Okay.
My biggest thing in this is like how people get the jobs assigned, and some of them are really good jobs, and some of them are like
Yeah.
Handmaid's Tale gone wrong.
Yes.
It's like you're going to be a birth mother, and you're just going to keep birthing babies.
So it's not even that they're birth mothers. They're just like incubators for these genetically made babies. How terrible is that? But then like there was some, they had like a whole montage of that scene, and there were some other like kind of crummy jobs too that they kind of breezed past. Like somebody had something to do with bicycles. Yeah, I don't know if they like
Yeah,
maintained
because
the
everyone there
bicycles.
gets assigned a bike when they get to like a certain age or something.
Yeah. I felt like it was like an industrial centre parks. I felt like it was like the set looked like a centre park.
I do feel like
was
most of
just
our watches of these movies turn out like, oh, it's like a bit like Centre Parks.
Yeah, it looks like Centre Park. They filmed all this in Centre Park.
Last week in Equilibrium, it was Sean Bean and Emily Mortimer had
Oh,
gone.
it was.
Had gone to Centre Parks, had their photo
Centre
taken.
Park. Now, this one's filmed in Centre Parks because you got the houses and the lights outside, the bike trails and stuff like that. So it's giving me those Centre Park vibes.
The houses were like little cubes.
Yeah, that's right.
Aside from the weird triangular hedge with the waterfall to get into it, the other weird structural thing in that city was that like giant arch that they all climb up to, like the little overlook at the
The
top.
steps, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what is the deal with that? That looks really steep and dangerous. And then whenever they decide to go sledding down it, it looked like a death trap to me.
Yeah, my intrusive thoughts kind of won over on that one. I was like, I do hope somebody breaks a leg at the end of this.
Well, they wouldn't feel pain. So they'd be okay,
True.
right? Because that's one of the things. They don't feel physical pain.
Meryl Streep's character, the Grand Elder, the
Chief
one
Elder.
that assigns jobs, Chief Elder. My question is, why, if she knows that, for some reason, I didn't know why she knew, but she knew that the world was bad, even though she's not a giver. So she kind of like near the end, they're like, we can't get these memories back. We can't go back to the way it was. So she kind of knows about that already. So why do you think she's like assigning that as a job? If she knows that could be the downfall of their society, why even give it attention?
I feel like it's a bit like Kate Winslet character in Divergent, in that she knows that there's an outside, but she doesn't really know the ins and outs of it. Like, to me, there's somebody over Meryl Streep giving her, she's the mouthpiece, is how I kind of looked at it. And she knows that the memories are important, but you can't give them to everyone. So you have to keep them going so that when they do need to use them, they're still there.
In the book, all of the elders were sort of oblivious as well. They were just the governing body. They didn't know. They've made her into sort of a cartoon villain in this. Like she's like scheming and whatever. Like the major plot point that the way they've set this up that I had an issue with was they know that giving him the memories is going to change him. They know that it's dangerous for the general population to know and understand these memories. Why, once he gets the job as receiver, do they not have him go live with Jeff Bridges?
Yeah.
That's a good point. Like, just, go live there and learn about the world. You don't need to bring it back and then tell people stuff.
Because immediately
also-
he's like sharing it.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
when
he's
he
just
gets the
handing
role,
out leaflets.
they're like, the rules don't apply to you anymore. You, like, make your own sort of rules. But then as soon as he does stuff that they don't like, they're like, you're doing it wrong. It's like, you've told me I
Yeah.
don't have to go with any of your rules anymore.
I also really liked Alexander Skarsgård as the father.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just because I'm predisposed to liking Alexander Skarsgård and whatever.
Me too.
But I thought he did this nice little nuanced performance where clearly, like, he's got some predisposition to emotion too. Like, I think normally the nurturers wouldn't have taken a baby that wasn't doing well home, and yet he immediately brings little Gabe into their home.
I mean, he still sends that other baby to elsewhere.
Yes.
But
Yeah. When that scene, can we talk about that scene? Because I didn't see it happening. When I was like, what's happening here with this baby? And it's like, oh, they have to.
they're just sticking
there's
an
twins,
injection
so we
in
have to
his
get rid of
head.
one. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. And they actually went through it. I thought they were cut away or something, but they literally show the
they
entire
watch that
thing.
baby completely dying.
Yeah. I was like, okay. And then like they just throw it into the little bin
into
and off it
a
goes. So I was
box
just like,
down a
Off
chute.
the chute. Yeah.
and it's how like nonchalant the guy is about the whole thing. He's just like, yeah, put that in there.
Well, that's why it's kind of
and done.
surprising that they have that scene with him, but then they've got him kind of juxtaposed to that, caring for the baby. Obviously, he doesn't want to hurt the girl at the end when she's meant to be sent to elsewhere, but he kind of hesitates. So
He hesitates,
why
and
was
then
it-
they show like these close-ups of like the dripping needle coming closer to her.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna get you.
Well, it made me wonder. Like the book was written in, what was it, early 90s, and it again, like I said, all that I knew of it before was it was one of these Newbery Award winning ones. I wonder how much this has actually influenced a lot of the, dare I say, more popular YA dystopian fiction and movies that have come out since then.
I would imagine so.
See a lot of elements of Hunger Games in here, and a lot of elements of Divergent, and even thinking of like some of the movies we've watched since then, like getting the daily injection was in the Equilibrium, and the Created City was in Dark City, and then all of the like,
I'm kind of seeing the tropes, aren't we?
yeah, and all of these have a Neo. We all have to have our savior that comes and saves the dystopia from dystopia.
I think I'd rather Neo in this situation.
This one we have like old Neo, young Neo, and infant Neo, like
Baby Neo.
three generations.
Can we talk about this baby? Because my issue was the amount of POV you're a baby shots, that like giant faces just coming over the front of the crib. Especially like Jonah's character. Every time he came in, he was like, "Hey, look, there's the baby," and he's like, "Hey, baby," and it's like it's this big face just popping up. It's like, Jesus, being a baby is terrifying. All these heads just floating around you. Yeah, but he's like smiling, like, "Hey," and I'm like, "That's too much. I can't deal with this." Yeah,
That baby was like Superman at the end. They have this like hypothesis: if they break through the end of the world, they'll be able to like restore. Like, it's all very not based in any fact. And so Jonas escapes, like Jonas steals the baby. He drives off the cliff because the edge of like the society is this cliff with this fog, and he like roar off with the baby. Baby survives that. And then for the last like 20 minutes of the film, it's Jonas like running just with like an exposed infant holding him in his arms.
How's he feeding him?
Yes.
How's he looking after him? He didn't have any supplies. He literally left in like the dead of night.
Yeah. At one point, they get picked up by a drone and then dropped
off a
into the
waterfall.
water. I was like, how did anyone think that they were going to survive that? But okay.
just like plunge this baby in that freezing cold water. Then they've got to walk across this desert of land,
Which then
It's
goes
and then they end
into
up-
snow, and they walk through that for
then it
ages.
goes into snow.
Then it turns into willow, and they have to sledge down the mountain. I mean, obviously, it's meant to go into more books, and they were probably thinking they were going to make more movies out of it, so it ends on not much, but it was a rubbish ending.
But the dark thing that I thought at the end of this film, so we kind of skipped over it, but whenever Jonas starts getting the memories, you know, at one point, like it's like discovering the world. Oh, look, Keller, music, whatever. But then he suddenly starts getting like the scary memories, like Vietnam War. And the giver is like, this was too early. I was supposed to give you this memory much later. It accidentally popped into my head or whatever. And so Jonas almost quits. He's like, this is destroying me. I don't know what to do.
He cared about the war. He didn't care about that poor elephant getting shot in the face. That didn't bother him, apparently, but him sitting in a jungle, that was too much.
So this brings me to probably Danielle's most favourite part of this entire film. The star, or Taylor Swift.
Yeah. It was completely stunt casting. I was like, why is she even in this? She's... Admittedly, I don't think she's that great of an actor. Her distinguishing characteristics, like why did she have dark curly hair and you don't see her face through most of it? It was just, it was weird. You know,
it was weird.
It wasn't like she was a brand new pop star at this time. She had been around for like 6 or so years at this point. So she was like Taylor Swift at this point. It was just, I think, to get more people into the theater. Oh, we can put Taylor Swift's name on this.
And she's in it for about 3 minutes.
Yeah. Also, another aspect of the book is that character, I think, was a lot more well developed in the book. And actually, when she goes through a similar thing and learns about like death and war and whatever, she wants to quit and then she takes poison herself. So she isn't even like sent elsewhere. She very consciously kills herself. Jeff Bridges' performance in this, I couldn't, like, he wasn't opening his mouth. I didn't know.
No. I was going to say he's got a frog in his mouth. Yeah, he sounds like he's got a frog. It's just, hello, my name is Jeff Bridges. There's a frog in my mouth and I can't seem to
This
hop
is the
it out.
issue I had in True Grit. That was Jeff Bridges as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I could not understand him in that. I remember in the cinema turning to who I was with and being like, I wish there was subtitles.
I wanted to talk about the love triangle really quick.
Yeah. So
it was,
the idea of love. Is there?
But it's like an interesting idea having a love triangle with 3 people that can't feel love. And, you know,
was there a love triangle?
Yes.
I feel like there wasn't.
Yeah, between the drone guy and Jonas.
Asher.
Who did he love?
The drone guy was in Shameless, in the American version of Shameless too. I had to pause it as soon as he came on. I was like, oh, I recognize that kid. But yeah, like every time
he's also the guy in Star Wars game too.
Oh.
That's how I know him. He plays the guy in Star Wars. But he's Joker. Is he a Joker? I think he might be a Joker.
Yeah. Every time Jonas and Fiona are like having a moment together, there's like a quick shot of Asher like looking
pining in the background.
And so, you know, it made you, or at least it made me wonder at the end if he was gonna kill, because the chief elder has this, like, again, cartoon villainy scene with Asher where she says, find him and then lose him as a way to, like, say to kill him. And then she, like, flicks a piece of paper off. So I was like, oh, he's definitely going to kill Jonas because this deep-seated jealousy that he doesn't know how to deal with.
Yeah, so I want to look at our favourite characters and ones that you just dreaded to see on screen. So, Nat, let's start with you. Who did you love?
I think it's no surprise, but I'm going to pick my favourite character as the Alexander Skarsgård character, just because I thought he was interesting, because even without him being affected by Jonas, he still had empathy. And I feel like if the story had progressed without Jonas, he would have still become a better person and thought, actually, what we're doing here is wrong. My worst character, I went with the drone pilot. Did you say his name was Asher?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went with him. Apart from the fact that he saved them at the waterfall, he could have been there, he could have not been there, and nothing would have changed.
I thought whenever I picked this character that I was going to be going out on a limb and crazy for picking it, but apparently my soul sister also picked the Alexander Skarsgård, Jonas's father. All the same things. I probably do have like a little celeb crush on Alexander Skarsgård, so like happy to watch him in anything. I also liked how he, like, part of his nurturer thing was to give his daughter a stuffed animal. Like, I couldn't imagine the stuffed animal was regulation in their weird little society. And there's like a scene where he's like horsing around with the kids, like so I thought he was a good dad given the weird society they lived in. My least favorite, like the villains in this, I didn't care for. I thought they were like too villainy, so I didn't like Jonas's mother or the chief elder as characters. But I'm gonna put that aside and do what you probably wouldn't think and say I did not like the Taylor Swift role in this. I didn't think.
Oh no!
I didn't like Rosemary.
She's
I
going to
didn't
be
think.
devastated.
I thought the character should have been a bigger impact, and it didn't. It was just like a reason to pull Taylor Swift into the film. And
I'm going to say I loved Katie Holmes' character, the mum, just because she's so like grumpy. I want to see a film about her just constantly be miserable
telling
about
people
things.
they're doing it wrong.
Yeah, address your communication or something. She says, I don't know what she says, something like that. She's just like I don't know. She's completely different from everyone who lives in that house. Everyone in that house has a different personality compared to her. She's just like there just to be like, meh.
Yeah,
and then, like, as soon as Meryl Streep turns in, the chief elder's there, and then she's like, oh. Hi, I'm your friend. I'll dob my son in as much as you want. Yeah.
But she's assigned
It's
like
so
a government
funny.
role. She's like a government official, whereas like like the father is a nurturer, which made me. I wish they would have given a line or two about how marriages happen in this society.
Yeah.
Like if they don't have love.
Okay, worst character. I'll go with Jonas. Like handsome chap by all means, but. I think he was a bit of a blank canvas. Acting wise, he was great. Like he did the job, but I just think the character itself was just a bit like seen before. Like there wasn't anything I could go like, yeah, I'm rooting for this guy. It was very much like, okay, he's just being the hero.
I needed a more memorable actor in this. I needed like a Logan Lerman.
Yeah. So at this point of the podcast, we give our ratings. So as limes, me and Nat rate it out of 5, and Danielle as a lemon also rates it out of 5. So Nat, let's start with you. What do you think?
I'm gonna give it a 2.
Okay.
The way I sort of work my ratings, if it's like if I would watch it again, then it has to be over a 3. If I wouldn't, then it has to be under a 3. So yeah, definitely a 2. I wouldn't watch it again. Some of the themes are interesting, although I feel they've been chopped and changed a little bit from, obviously this came first, but because I've seen the other things first, they're more of an impact for me. So it's very, like we said, like Divergent, Equilibrium, all mashed into one. But I felt like those movies displayed it better.
I gave it a 2.5, and I think for all the things Natalie said, I think it's an interesting world, and I do like dystopia fiction.
I'm giving this like a 1. Just like I even speaking about it, I spoke about it with my work colleague, and he's like a fan of Jeff Bridges. He's like, oh, Jeff Bridges does good films. I was like, well, you want to go watch The Giver and then let me know. I don't know. I just didn't like it. It just didn't have anything. It wasn't action packed. It wasn't very
memorable. I mean, I only watched it this week with you on Tuesday, and when sitting down to do it today, I was like, I'm glad I got my notes, because I really couldn't remember anything that happened, really.
But I think
Just
it's universally forgettable. I don't think I've heard anybody, like you never hear anybody talk about this film when talking about all the other ones. And
considering it's got some really big celebrity names in it, it should be more well known.
Yeah, well, it came out 2014, so so I would have thought I would have remembered that or anything.
Yeah, or maybe our memories have been taken and we have to wait for the giver to give them back.
Oh, no thanks. But I think... I tell you what I would like to see. I want to see Jeff Bridges' like short film version of this, just to see what he would have done. Like, let's see his original idea, but never mind, eh? So with that, it's the end of our podcast. We'll be back again on Wednesday. So make sure you give us a like, or if you're still here, give us a like, follow us, give us a little comment on what you thought your thoughts of The Giver. Did it give you feelings, or did you leave miserable and bored out of your mind? So it's a goodbye from me.
Bye.
Bye-bye.